Okay, so the updates. There are a few updates to go over, not that many specific to education. There's quite a few productivity updates this month, so we'll go over those. You now have the ability to add up to 50,000 members to a space in Google Chat. I'm not sure there are any domains here that would comprise 50,000, but that is now a possibility. It'll be difficult managing that chat space. Google Calendar's got an update in terms of managing meeting rooms. This is really good if you're working across, if an organization is working across multiple locations. So for example, perhaps you have multiple physical campuses or multiple buildings within a campus. It's just going to have a better way of recommending meeting rooms for you to book when you go to Google Calendar. This is, even though it says Education Plus at the bottom here, this app sheet update is in fact for every non-Education Plus domain. So if you're a paid Google Workspace user, you now actually have app sheet. You have access to app sheet licenses. So for example, Apps Events, we're a business organization. Because of our subscription with Google, we now get access to app sheet. Education Plus has had access to AppSheet, I think, since the start of the Education Plus, or over a year at least. And AppSheet is Google's no-code tool for building apps. If you go to AppSheet, there's several template starter apps that you can use. For example, there's a field trip app they have a template for. Managing attendance, they have a template for. It's super useful. Definitely worth checking. If you're on Education Plus, definitely worth checking out. Been an update to the Google Chat API, so you can programmatically control your chat spaces and memberships if you wanted to do so. Probably more useful for bigger organizations. Minor update to Google Chat, you can add URLs. You can link text to a URL in Google Chat. And you do that, it's not available on my Google Chat, it's not available on my account yet. So you may see a different timing for the rollout of this. But if you go to Google Chat, if you click on the formatting button, you can just see the A with the underline, the formatting button. There will be a link button as well. And you can link text.
Or add hyperlink. That wasn't already there, you know.
Well, yeah.
It's but great to see. I think that's going to be really useful for us in the community space, especially.
I mean, it reminds me of adding formatting options to Google Classroom text. It took a couple of years for that to launch. This is brilliant. I don't have access to this yet. Peter, do you have this yet? Negotiating time in Gmail for meetings.
No, I don't have it yet, but I wish I did. This looks really good.
This is so useful, at least if you're scheduling a lot of meetings or check-ins. So create an email, enter the person you're meeting with, and when there's a little calendar button at the bottom. You can see it in the GIF in a moment. It'll be just at the bottom there. When you click on that, you have the ability to suggest meeting times. So rather than doing that endless chain of back and forth of confirming a time, you can actually just suggest it, and then the recipient can accept it. Looking forward to getting that. Don't know if this would be a benefit to anybody in the call, but this is an interesting announcement. You can now connect Stripe to your Google account and your appointment schedules. You can actually set up an appointment schedule and use Stripe to, well, accept the booking and then accept payment as well. So that was interesting. Another update to Google Calendar and working locations. You can actually set working location dependent on the time of day. So for example, if you're a tech coordinator working across multiple schools or campuses, again, you can specify your working location for different times of the day. That's your physical working location. Another client-side encryption update. So this is when you're not using Google's client-side encryption, you're using your own keys to encrypt data. There's been an update to that. this little update to you can customize the error messages in Google Chat for DLP. So somebody enters something in chat, for example, a passport number or something else that's being flagged for DLP, you can customize the error message that pops up. I think it's in beta, and it's only available on the web at the moment. I'm going to nominate this as my update of the month, the ability to pin links in the admin console. So what you can do in the admin console, you can see it in the animated GIF here, is if there's a specific place you go to in the admin console a lot, for example, the investigation tool. If you're always in the investigation tool, you can actually pin that as a link. So when you go to your admin console, you just see that link to the top. I think you can pin up to, I think it was 5 links. I forget if there was a limit or not.
Yeah, this looks like a really good update and makes it look a bit more like Google Cloud Platform. If you've ever been into there, you can also do the same kind of thing and pin your most used services, which is really useful because the admin console has really grown a lot over the last few years and features. So yeah, looking forward to getting
Adam, good point. Yeah, Adam just said, why did it take so long? Exactly. I agree. Yeah, the admin console is a bit of a beast now to manage. There's a lot in there. Another update to client-side encryption, this time on Gmail. I'll just leave that one there. I don't think anybody's using. Is anybody using client-side encryption? Do they have their own keys? I think not. Yeah. I haven't seen this yet, but now there are red receipts for Google Chat group messages, group direct messages. I think it's the you'll see like the little icon after you sent your last message to see if your team's reading your messages or not. Focus time. So in Google Calendar, you can add focus time to your Google Calendar. Essentially, that's now been synced or linked with Do Not Disturb. So when you add focus time, it removes notifications that you're receiving. Okay, so for live stream, so if you're using Google Meet to live stream, and this is a good one. So for example, if you have a parents meeting or a large cross-district meeting and you're live streaming that meeting, you can add some interactivity now with Q&A and polls. So previously it was just obviously a stream, but now you can add some interactivity to those live streams with Q&A and polls. So a great way to get some feedback during those streams. I guess it really kind of makes Google Meet a bit more of a webinar platform. This is a good one to be aware of. There are updates coming to access controls within Google Meet. Google Education has a slightly different, so this is rolling out obviously to Google Business and then Google Education as well. Right now, I think the best way to summarize this, if you create a Meet within Google Classroom, it's restricted and that will remain restricted. There'll be no changes there. But for other Google Meets, I believe the default is going to be the trusted level. So they've got 3 new levels: open, trusted, and restricted. For new Google Meets and existing Google Meets, they're going to be default to the trusted level, apart from Meet links which are created in Classroom, which will default to the restricted level. So no risk there. There's going to be no changes to what anybody can access within a Meet that's been created in Google Classroom. But for other Google Meets, there is going to be a change to how we manage these access settings. I think that's very useful, actually. I think it simplifies it greatly. This is great. So Google Sheets is integrated with Mail Merge in Gmail. So a while ago, probably a year ago, Gmail launched bulk send. So essentially Mail Merge with a contact list. Contact lists within Gmail are maybe not the easiest way if you want to email a group of people. So now you can do it from a Google Sheet. So if you have a Google Sheet with name, email address, and you can actually have multiple merge fields as well. You're not restricted to first name, last name, email address. You can actually have many, many different merge fields, which is great. So you have your Google Sheet with all of those fields set up. And then, as you can see in the image here, you when you go to include the two who you're sending it to, you have the little mail merge button there, and you can choose your Google Sheet that you're sending it to. And you can see there that they've included multiple merge fields. Really useful. Tried this out already. Works really well.
This is fantastic. I've been waiting for this for years.
My only complaint would be, and of course, as soon as you see a new feature release, you want to see all the people you sent it to. It'd be nice to have some feedback in the sheet who it's been sent to. And then if you add new people to that list, just send to those new people. It doesn't have that, but I think you could set that up maybe with some kind of filtering or something like that in a Google Sheet. Yeah, super useful.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Adam, you're right. Yeah, in Edu, people are sending to email lists all the time.
Yeah, we've been using this script. I think it's pretty popular, but it's a pain for like non-technical users to deal with it. So this is great. But yeah, that script that you mentioned does have those two features. It basically puts a timestamp on the
yes. Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to set up an app script to do this either. But for teachers who want to send out a message to parents, this is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, for office use, exactly. So we've actually been struggling. I mean, ever since we got off Outlook, we're really, the Office suite, the offices, it's not like they were great with it anyway, but at least they could deal with it. But with Google, it's been a tricky one. So awesome.
Yeah, I have a tool. I have a tool that downloads the data from OpenApply Management and puts into a spreadsheet. And that's what they're doing with it. They're trying to make, so now it's like they can just use that spreadsheet to do a mail out.
Yeah,
cool.
Super.
Can't wait to share that. Thank you.
Yeah, and combine that with templates as well. So you can use, it shows a little button down there. Obviously your template, it can be a newsletter or what. Once you combine all of that together, I think it becomes really powerful. Yeah, super easy. This is useful. I think this is launched already, but at least I do see it already. When you hover over your image in a Google Meet, you will you have the ability to change the effects, so the background effects for Google Meet. It just makes it easier to access the effects button, and you can see that there actually just popped up. Yeah, so you hover over your image, and then you can there'll be the Apply Visual Effects button pop up, and you can change the visual effects. So companion mode is a way of joining a meet without being without sharing your video or you're enabling the microphone within a meet. This is great if I just joined a webinar this morning or an event with Google this morning, and I just wanted to listen in the background. Companion mode is a great way to do that. But it's also if you're running a physical meeting, well, actually a hybrid meeting where some people are joining in a physical space and some people are joining online. If people join with companion mode, they still have access to polls and Q&A. So it's just great. So everybody can see everybody in the meeting, of course, without actually having to join with their microphone or their camera on. So that's companion mode. Update to managing Google Meet hardware. I don't think there's many schools using Google Meet hardware just yet. So I'll just leave that one there. Improved workflow to access requests in Google Workspace files. This I've seen already. This is great. It just makes it easier to see those access requests, especially if you share out with a group of people and maybe you didn't give everybody access. You're getting all of those emails for access requests. It's easier to go to the document now and manage those. Update to Google Vault and file retention capabilities now using Google Drive labels. So Google Drive labels will sync to Google Vault. So you can use those to more granularly control how files with drive labels, specific drive labels, are managed within Google Vault as well. Updates about programmatically writing your working locations with a calendar API. I think we can leave that one there. And I think that's it. I think we did this one last month. This last update here was talking about pulling in data from third-party applications into Google Docs with smart chips. Actually, very useful. They listed some examples here, Atlassian, Figma, Miro. So you can actually choose an app that you're working with and insert data into your doc from that app. Maybe just a link or maybe the last edited date. I think we went through that last month. Okay, so that's the updates for July. Not so many education updates. I think between the BET show and then the ISTE event as well back in May, I think there were a lot of updates there.